So, thank you for coming to Evolutions. Today, we're with Mr. Murray in his gorgeous 2019 Ford GT. I want to start off by saying my buddy Kashif, who's also our partner too, he had surgery a couple days ago, so if you guys want to send in a message saying get well soon, that would be perfect. I know he would love that for sure. But yeah, so like I said, again, welcome back to another episode of Evolutions. Today, we're interviewing and reviewing Mr. Murray's 2019 Ford GT that he just got about 10
March
months ago?
March 14th last year.
Wow. So it's almost been a year then.
Yes, sir.
That's crazy. So I guess a couple questions I have for you is how has the ownership experience been like for having it?
It's been an incredible experience. You know, I had a 2005 Ford GT. That car was awesome, and it drew a lot of attention.
Oh, yeah.
That car made me a rock star.
Yep.
This car made me a super rock star.
Yep. So, and looking back at it too, comparing it to your 2005 Ford GT to now, how has, like, ownership-wise, how does it differ from your 2005 Ford GT?
Well, there are obviously great differences in the car,
Yeah.
but it's a whole different experience because you're on a much higher level.
Okay.
One of the things we had talked about was the service and the concierge. Now
Yeah.
I deal with the concierge.
Yeah.
With the 2005, I didn't deal with the concierge.
Okay.
So therefore, I get incredible service with this car compared to the other car.
Gotcha.
It's a whole new ball game.
Gotcha. That's really cool. So, and what does the concierge service, I guess, in detail-wise, how does it, what do they really do for that matter?
When you are chosen to buy a new Ford GT,
Okay.
you are assigned to a concierge at Ford Motor Company. I had a guy named Michael.
Okay.
He and I hit it off because we both had the same name.
Yeah.
And he was the one that guided me through the ordering experience, the delivery experience. He arranged for the trip to Multimatic in January to go watch him build the car.
Wow.
Which was beyond anything I've ever done.
Yeah.
To get inside of a facility like that and watch them hand assemble the cars was an incredible experience.
That's crazy.
Well, then after the car is delivered, any issues I had, problems I had, I called Michael, and he put me in touch with the right people to take care of me.
Okay.
The service is beyond belief.
Wow. So what drew your attention to Ford? Because I knew you had Michael Murray Racing back in the day.
Correct.
So what drew your attention to Ford over, other competitors, like for instance Ferrari, like we had Ford versus Ferrari, Lamborghini, Bentley, stuff like that. What drew your attention more towards Ford than any other competitor out there?
Well, I have to go way back to my very first sports car, which was a 1957 Austin Healey Roadster.
Yep. Okay.
So it was a two-seater. The car was aluminum. It had side curtains for windows. I mean, this was a true sports car.
Yep.
Well, then in the I bought a 57, then I bought a 62, and along comes a guy by the name of Carroll Shelby.
Okay.
And he built the two-seated Cobra.
Yep.
Well, of course, I fell in love with the Cobra.
Of course.
And I wasn't all that interested in the Corvette. I was a sports car person, more so than an everyday driving a Corvette. Well, in 1966, they came out with the Shelby GT350.
Okay.
That was affordable.
Yeah.
I think that car was like $3,400. The Cobra was $7,200.
Wow.
That was a lot of money in those days for me.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of money.
Yep.
So, plus I danced to the beat of a different drum. If you like Chevrolet, I like Ford.
Yep.
So I watched the inception of the Cobra. I followed every single race that car won. It won the World Championship in 1964 with the Daytona Coupes.
Yep.
See, back in those days, we didn't have the internet.
Yeah.
All right, and there was really no TV coverage, very little news. But we had a newspaper called Competition Press.
Okay.
It came out weekly.
Okay.
And everybody got it snail mailed, but I paid extra money to get it air mailed.
Alright.
So everybody would get theirs on the following Friday. I would get mine on Monday, right after the weekend of racing, because I got it air mailed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was that much of a fan. And then, of course, when they came out with the GT40, man, I said, oh my God, that's just the most incredible car I've ever seen. Plus, there was a GT40 in Toledo.
Yeah.
A guy by the name of Harry Heinel bought it.
Okay.
He bought it in Phoenix. They put it in the back of a U-Haul, or a Hertz rent-a-truck, and hit a patch of ice and dumped it. So the fellow that was riding with him just happened to be an ace mechanic by the name of Kenny Closter.
Yep.
Harry didn't want the car after it was wrecked, it was kind of damaged. Kenny bought the car and put it back together.
Okay.
So Kenny had that car in Toledo. I saw it many times. I was absolutely in love with it. And of course, I followed the races and the Shelby experience with Ford through the process of winning Le Mans. It took him 3 years, as we know.
Yep.
I followed all that. I mean, it was just, I lived for that kind of news. So that's really what got me into the Ford. Then when I heard in 2003, when they announced the 2005 Ford GT as the 100th anniversary car, Competition Press is now Auto Week, which, by the way, is now out of business.
Yeah.
They only do online, no more magazines.
Okay.
But they printed a picture of that car. I cut that picture out and taped it to my mirror.
Okay.
And that was my goal. I was going to get that car. Then when the first model came out, I bought the very first model, and that sat on my desk. So every day I'd look at it in the mirror, and then I'd look at it on my desk, and I'm dreaming. And late 2005, I bought the Ford GT.
Wow.
So I'm booked now.
Yep.
Now I have really the mother of all American sports cars, and I never had so much fun. I had that car for 13 years and put 29,600 miles on it. I drove it, I had fun with it, I showed it at car shows, I took good friends for rides. It was just, I never had so much fun.
That's awesome.
So, when Ford announced they were going to build this car, I was fortunate enough to be a guest of Ford Motor Company at the 24 Hours at Le Mans, France in 2016 when they won the race. They won the race! And I was there. I'll tell you what, it was so emotional for me, I couldn't stop crying.
Wow.
Because and it was all those 50 years of build-up from when I first followed the original GT40s. And then I knew at that time that I was getting a new one.
Okay.
So now my heart's pumping for 3 years, waiting for the delivery of the new car.
Wow.
And it was just, I've done a lot of exciting things in my life. I've had a lot of great experiences, but this tops them all.
Wow.
Having this car. I love my car.
That's awesome. And to anybody who doesn't know, Mr. Murray and I have been good friends for about 3 or 4 years now. And he is a diehard Ford fanatic, and just like I'm a Chevy diehard Chevy fanatic, and I can't think of anybody else who could even imagine, to be honest with you, that deserves this car more than he does. And like I said, it's a true experience to even like know him, meet him, and just to even get close to his car for that matter. So I have one last question for you as well too. So as you all know, exotic cars are maintenance heavy. They're oil changes are like $5,000. How has the maintenance been on this?
Well, first of all, I only have 2,850 miles.
Yeah.
All right, and I had a couple bugs.
Okay.
But here's what you do: you call Michael at Ford Concierge. Ford has 22 special service centers around the country to service these cars.
Oh, okay.
So he gave me the names of 2 dealers in Detroit area, and one I recognized was Gorno Ford.
Okay.
Longtime Ford dealer. I called and talked to the service manager. He bent over backwards for me. The first problem I had was I had a very small hydraulic leak in the front end.
Okay.
So they send down a truck and a trailer. The next day with a mechanic he goes and spends time at Multimatic to learn how to work on the cars.
Okay.
Well, he came down, they have a special trailer, picked it up, they took it to Detroit, and brought it back the next day. It was very small, tighten up a fitting, clean up the fluid that had leaked, no big deal.
Okay.
Then I had a second problem, had a taillight go out.
Okay.
So, now this time the service manager himself came down, picked up the car, took it back to Detroit.
No way.
Now, I said, why don't you just bring another taillight? He said, well, it could be the module.
Yeah.
So, and I said, now listen, here's the deal. I got the car back Friday because I got car shows Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
So he goes up there, calls me the next day and said, it's a module. We're not going to be able to get it in time, so we will bring the car back to you. So they brought it back so I could go to the shows.
Okay.
They picked it up the next week, same thing, put a taillight in, and that was it. So I can't say enough about the service. They bend over backwards to roll out the red carpet for you. Because if you own a Ford GT, you're special. You're a rock star.
Just like you. All right. I think that's so. You said you have 2,800 miles in this car.
Correct.
And I strongly think that I've been doing my research on a lot of the car. I think that might be the highest mileage Ford GT out there so far.
Well, I didn't buy it to leave it sitting in the garage.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
I bought it to, one of the reasons Ford chose me, they wanted goodwill ambassadors.
Yeah.
The first year I owned the car, this car went to 27 car shows.
That's still
Well, I gotta tell you, the neatest one was not a car show, it was an air show out here at the Toledo Express Airport. A friend of mine said, hey, bring that car out there for the air show. It was the only car on display, it was all airplanes.
Yeah.
Well, they had me park it next to the F-35. More people looked at this car than the F-35. I had so many people around that we finally had to put stanchions around it to keep them back a little ways.
Wow.
And I'll never forget, the cutest thing was this little girl. She couldn't have been 6, 7 years old, but she knew everything about this car. So I let her sit in the car. Plus I have some Hot Wheels. I give out the kids, the special kids, I give a Hot Wheel of the Ford GT and I autograph it for them.
That's awesome.
So that made my day.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for letting me interview today.
You're welcome.
And thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and like I said, we hope to bring you a lot more content just like this. Also do more videos with Murray in the future too. So I said stay tuned and hope you guys have a good day. See ya. Alright guys, so this 2019 Ford GT is powered by a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6. It produces right around 647 horsepower and about 550 pounds of torque. 0 to 60 is right in that 3-second area, so this thing's on its level with Lamborghini Aventador, Ferrari 488, even the Ferrari 48 piece as well too. So as you guys know, the Ford GT is all about aerodynamics. So what happens is there's little flaps down here on the bottom that will open and close, usually close at higher speeds, so to remain the car at a flat ground, so that way it corners like there's no tomorrow basically. And then again, with aerodynamics staying in mind, what will happen is air will pass through these vents up here, come over the hood, through the vents right there, channel itself out and through the flying buttresses, and then again, at a certain speed, or if you have the car in sport or track mode, the wing will come up as well and allow the air to pass over it or under it, depending on how hard you're cornering, the speed you're going, and what you're planning on doing with the car as far as racing wise. So adding on to that as well, again, what will happen is all the air will come pass over the hood, come down the side of the car, cool off the turbos via the intercooler right here, pass through the flying buttress. And with that being said too, I'm gonna try to get this, is there's a vent right here that will allow all the air to cool the brakes down. Plus, as you can see right here, and another vent right there, it'll allow the motor to basically air out, cool out basically, and allow all the excess air to pass over the wing.
Emil, you're a special guy, a special friend, so I have 2 gifts for you. One is a Ford GT Hot Wheel to my friend Ramil, and the other is my, I call it my hero card. I give these out to people that come and admire the car and like the car, and I put a little, my favorite saying on here, Ramil, drive it like you stole it.
And you know me, I always drive my car like I stole it.
You got it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.